High Admiral Kayla Chen stared at the holographic display floating above the bridge of the UES Sentinel, her weathered features illuminated by the soft blue glow of countless stars. The message repeated itself for the third time, each word sending ripples of disbelief through the command crew. To all human vessels and colonies, the Astral Federation hereby declares your species unfit for interstellar travel and commerce. Your technological advancement is deemed insufficient for meaningful interaction. Withdraw to your home system within 30 standard cycles. The message had arrived exactly 6 hours after humanity's first official contact with the Federation's diplomatic fleet. What should have been a historic moment of unity had devolved into thinly veiled contempt from the alien coalition. They didn't even wait for our response. Lieutenant James Rodriguez muttered from his tactical station, fingers dancing across the haptic interface as he analyzed the Federation ships still hovering at the edge of their sensor range. Kayla's jaw tightened. After 15 years of deep space exploration, humanity had finally encountered an advanced alien civilization, only to be dismissed like children playing with toys. The Federation ships were impressive, she had to admit. Their sleek, crystalline vessels seemed to bend light itself, making them appear almost ethereal against the backdrop of space. "Status of the colony ships?" she asked, keeping her voice steady despite the anger churning in her gut. "The New Eden and Prometheus are still on course for the Centauri system," Admiral, her XO, Commander Sarah Wells, reported. "Should we recall them?" Before Kayla could respond, the sensor array erupted in a cascade of warnings. The Federation ships were moving, their formation shifting into an attack pattern she didn't recognize. Multiple energy signatures detected, Rodriguez shouted. "They're charging weapons. Raise shields. Get me a channel tow." The first blast cut through space like a scythe, striking the Sentinel's port side before their shields could fully engage. The impact sent crew members sprawling across the bridge as emergency klaxons blared. Direct hit. Shield generators are struggling to compensate. "Return fire," Kayla ordered, gripping her command chair as another blast rocked the ship. "And get those colony ships out of here." The Sentinel's weapons seemed pitiful against the Federation vessel's advanced shielding. Each shot dissipated harmlessly against their barriers, while their attacks carved through the human ship's defenses like paper. "Admiral, we're detecting similar attacks across all our outer colonies," Wells reported, her face pale in the emergency lighting. "They're not just targeting us, they're hitting everything outside Sol." Kayla felt her blood run cold. This wasn't just an attack, it was an extermination. The Federation had deemed humanity unworthy and decided to enforce their judgment with violence. "Send an encrypted burst transmission to Earth Command," she commanded. "Tell them." She paused as another hit rattled the bridge. "Tell them Project Lazarus is no longer theoretical. We need it now." "Message sent, but we're losing power to main systems," Rodriguez reported. "We can't take another direct hit." Kayla stood, her decision made. All hands, abandon ship, set course for the nearest Federation vessel, and engage autopilot. "Admiral," Wells questioned, understanding dawning in her eyes. "If they want to see humanity's worth, let's show them how dangerous a primitive species can be." Kayla's voice was ice. "Overload the fusion core. Let's give them something to remember us by." As evacuation pods streaked away from the dying Sentinel, its engines burned bright one last time. The Federation ship never saw the danger until it was too late. The human vessel's explosion took both ships in a spectacular flash of light, briefly outshining the distant stars. Back on Earth, the response to the Federation's attack was swift, but not what the aliens expected. Instead of cowering or withdrawing, humanity went dark. Colonies seemingly disappeared overnight. Ships vanished from sensors. To the Federation, it appeared as though humans were indeed retreating to their home system. They couldn't have been more wrong. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Director Marcus Zhang reviewed the casualty reports from the First Contact massacre. Behind him, Through reinforced windows, thousands of engineers and scientists worked on something that would change the course of human history. How many? General Sarah Mitchell asked, her hologram flickering slightly in the secure conference room. 15,000 colonists, Marcus replied, his voice heavy. The Sentinel managed to warn most of our outer settlements before they fell. We've initiated Protocol Dark Winter. Every surviving colony and outpost has gone silent. And Project Lazarus? Marcus turned to look at the massive construction bay below. In the shadowed depths, something massive was taking shape, something that combined recovered alien technology with humanity's most advanced innovations. We're ahead of schedule, he said, allowing himself a grim smile. The Federation thinks they're dealing with primitives who barely understand faster than light travel. They have no idea what humanity is capable of when pushed into a corner. How long? Mitchell's hologram leaned forward, tension visible even through the flickering transmission. 6 months until the first ship is ready. The Federation won't realize their mistake until it's too late. Marcus touched a control panel, bringing up detailed schematics of their creation. They think they're hunting us. Soon, they'll learn what it means to be the prey. As the lights of human civilization seemingly dimmed across the stars, the Federation celebrated their successful enforcement of galactic standards. They never noticed the subtle changes in background radiation near supposedly abandoned human colonies. They paid no attention to the occasional disappearance of their patrol ships in those sectors. Humanity wasn't retreating. They were preparing. And in the depths of space, where the Federation's sensors couldn't reach, the scattered remains of the UES Sentinel drifted silently, a memorial to humanity's first contact and a promise of retribution to come. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting for the moment when humanity would reveal just how deadly a primitive species could be. The Federation had made a fatal mistake. They had given humanity exactly what it needed: a reason to unite, a cause to fight for, and most importantly, access to their advanced technology through the wreckage of their battles. They thought they were ending a potential threat. Instead, they were creating their worst nightmare. The game of cat and mouse had begun. But the Federation didn't realize that they weren't the cats they thought they were. In the darkness of space, humanity was evolving, adapting, and preparing to show the galaxy exactly why you should never underestimate the determination of a species fighting for its survival. Deep within the caverns of Mars, Project Lazarus took shape in the darkness. Massive fabrication bays carved into the red planet's bedrock house humanity's response to the Federation's aggression. Dr. Elena Santos walked through the facility's main construction chamber, her footsteps echoing off steel and stone as she approached the vessel that would change everything. The ship didn't look like anything humanity had built before. Its hull was a perfect fusion of stolen Federation technology and human innovation, a dark angular shape that seemed to drink in light rather than reflect it. Nearly 2 kilometers in length, the vessel dwarfed anything Earth had previously constructed. "Beautiful, isn't she?" a voice called from behind. Elena turned to find Admiral James Chen, son of the late Admiral Kala Chen, approaching with a tablet in hand. His eyes held the same determined look his mother's had shown in her final transmission. "The quantum core is stable," Elena reported, gesturing to the massive engine housing at the ship's rear. "We've successfully integrated the Federation's crystalline technology with our own fusion designs. She's producing more power than their entire attack fleet combined." James nodded, his expression grim. Mother would have appreciated the irony. They gave us exactly what we needed when they attacked. Every piece of wreckage, every damaged ship we salvaged, it all led to this. The past 18 months had transformed humanity. While the Federation believed they had cowed Earth into submission, the reality was far different. Hidden factories across the solar system worked tirelessly, combining recovered alien tech with human ingenuity. The Federation's greatest advantage had been their crystalline quantum technology, but they had never imagined what would happen when that tech met human creativity. "Show me the weapons systems," James requested, following Elena to a nearby control station. The holographic display sprang to life, showing cutaway diagrams of the ship's armament. "We've reversed engineered their shield frequencies," Elena explained, highlighting various sections. "The main guns use a hybrid design, Federation quantum technology, powered by human eye targeting systems. We can track their shield fluctuations and time our shots to hit during their microsecond vulnerabilities. And they won't expect it," James added, "because as far as they know, we're still using primitive targeting systems." A young engineer rushed up to them, tablet extended. "Dr. Santos, Admiral, we've just received word from our deep space sensors. The Federation is expanding their patrols into the Proxima system." James's jaw tightened. "They're getting bolder. How many ships?" "3 of their primary battlecruisers. The engineer hesitated. "They're hunting for our surviving colonies." Elena watched as James's hands clenched into fists. The Federation had become increasingly aggressive in recent months, systematically searching for any human settlements that might have escaped their initial purge. They still hadn't realized that the abandoned colonies they found were elaborate decoys, hiding underground cities and shipyards. "How close are we to completion?" James asked, turning back to the massive ship looming above them. Elena consulted her own data. "The HMS Nemesis will be ready for her first trial run in 2 weeks. We've already begun crew training in the simulators. The neural interface systems are performing better than expected. Our pilots can react faster than Federation helmsmen." Neural interfaces. A new voice joined their conversation. Director Zhang approached, looking older than his years, but with fire in his eyes. "That wasn't in the original specifications." "No," Elena admitted, "but we found something interesting in the Federation database we recovered. They consider direct neural links with technology to be taboo. Something about it being beneath evolved species. We took that as a challenge." Zhang's expression shifted to a slight smile. "They think physical integration with machines is primitive. How typically arrogant of them. Show me." Elena led the group to a sealed chamber adjacent to the main construction bay. Inside, rows of crew members were connected to simulation pods, their minds linked directly to virtual replicas of their duty stations. The neural interfaces allowed them to control ship systems with thought alone, reducing reaction times to mere milliseconds. The Federation relies on their advanced AI and automated systems, Elena explained. They've forgotten the advantages of human intuition combined with machine precision. Our hybrid approach gives us capabilities they've never considered. James watched the training crews, his expression thoughtful. "How many ships can we build with the resources we have?" 3 more after the Nemesis, Zhang answered. "We've already begun construction at the Jupiter and Saturn facilities. The Federation's patrols never venture that far out. They still think we're confined to the inner solar system." A deep rumble shook the facility, causing them all to look up. Above them, the Nemesis quantum core pulsed with energy as engineers ran another series of tests. The ship's dark hull seemed to ripple, adaptive camouflage systems automatically responding to the power fluctuations. "We're not just building a warship," Elena said softly, watching the play of light across the vessel's surface. "We're creating something they've never seen before. Human aggression tempered by human compassion. Human creativity unleashed by alien technology. Human determination driven by the need for justice." James stepped forward, placing his hand against the cold metal of the ship's hull. "The Federation thought they were putting us in our place, showing us how insignificant we were in the grand scheme of things. Instead, they gave us the tools and motivation to surpass them." "Sir," the young engineer interrupted again, "we're picking up a Federation transmission." There, he swallowed hard. "They're planning to establish a permanent presence in the Proxima system. They're bringing in colonists of their own." The room fell silent. The Federation wasn't just hunting humans anymore. They were planning to take humanity's first extrasolar colony for themselves. The arrogance of it, the sheer dismissal of human rights to the stars they had reached for, was staggering. How long until the weapon systems are fully operational? James asked, his voice deadly quiet. Alina checked her data. We can have them online in 10 days if we push the crews around the clock. Do it. James turned to face them, his mother's determination burning in his eyes. The Federation thinks humanity is cowering in the dark, licking our wounds. It's time to show them what happens when you corner a species that spent its entire history overcoming impossible odds. As if in response, the Nemesis's engines pulsed again, sending another tremor through the facility. In 2 weeks, the galaxy would learn a harsh lesson about underestimating humanity. The Federation had sought to cage a primitive species. Instead, they had created something far more dangerous, humans with something to prove and the means to do it. The hunt was about to begin, and this time, humanity would be the predator. Federation Battle Group 7. This is Captain Zexnar. Long-range scans show no signs of human activity in the Proxima sector. Proceeding with colonization protocols. The Federation captain's mandibles clicked in satisfaction as he watched his fleet of 3 battlecruisers move into position around Proxima Centauri. The planet below had once housed humanity's first extrasolar colony. Now it would serve a more worthy civilization. Sir, his sensor officer called out, we're detecting an unusual radiation signature at the edge of the system. Probably more human debris, Zexnar dismissed. Their primitive ships leaked radiation constantly. Tag it for cleanup teams. Sir, the signature. It's moving. Before Zexnar could respond, space itself seemed to twist. A massive shape emerged from what appeared to be empty void. A vessel darker than the space around it, its hull drinking in starlight like a black hole. Impossible, Zexnar whispered. Their technology was decades behind. Federation vessels. A transmission cut through their communications, the human voice cold and precise. This is Admiral James Chen of the HMS Nemesis. You are trespassing in human space. The bridge crew of Zexnar's ship froze. They had all heard stories of the humans' pathetic resistance 18 months ago, how their ships had crumbled under Federation weapons. But this vessel, this was something else entirely. Activate defense protocols. Zexnar ordered, his confidence shaken but pride still intact. Show these primitives what real power looks like. The 3 Federation battlecruisers moved into attack formation, their crystalline hulls glowing with charged weapons. They fired simultaneously, expecting to obliterate this single human vessel regardless of its size. Their shots never reached their target. The Nemesis seemed to flicker, its adaptive camouflage bending light and energy around it. The Federation's energy beams passed through empty space as the massive human ship appeared behind their formation. What kind of technology? Zexnar's words were cut short as his tactical officer screamed. They're targeting our shield frequencies. How did they? The Nemesis's main guns spoke for the first time. Beams of focused quantum energy, guided by human neural interfaces and AI targeting systems, struck precisely when the Federation ship's shields fluctuated to fire. 2 battlecruisers erupted in silent explosions, their supposedly impenetrable defenses bypassed in microseconds. Hold your fire, Zexnar broadcast frantically. We surrender. We. No, Admiral Chen's voice was emotionless. You denied our people mercy. You hunted our colonies. You called us primitive. A pause. Now you learn why humanity survived countless wars, disasters, and challenges that would have broken lesser species. The Nemesis's secondary weapons activated. Instead of destroying Zexnar's ship, they systematically disabled its engines, weapons, and communications. The Federation vessel hung helpless in space as shuttles launched from the human warship. Sir, Elena's voice came through on James's private channel as he watched from the Nemesis's bridge. Boarding teams are ready. The neural interfaces are giving us full control of their systems through the quantum field. James nodded. Begin data extraction. I want everything. Their star charts, their technology database, their military deployments. Let's see how the Federation likes having their superiority stripped away. The boarding operation took less than an hour. Federation encryption crumbled before human cyber warfare systems enhanced by neural interfaces. Their databases were downloaded, their technology analyzed, their tactical information absorbed into the Nemesis's combat computers. Admiral, Elena reported from her science station. You need to see this. Their tactical databases. They've been systematically hunting down every trace of human civilization they can find. But there's something else. James moved to her station, watching as data scrolled across the screen. His eyes narrowed as he read. They're afraid. Yes, Elena confirmed. Their reports show increasing concern about how quickly we adapted to space travel. They attacked us not because we were primitive, but because their predictive models showed humanity advancing too rapidly. They feared what we might become. A bitter laugh escaped James's lips. So they created exactly what they feared by attacking us. Poetic justice. On the main screen, they watched as Federation escape pods launched from the crippled battlecruiser. James made no move to stop them. Those pods would carry tales of humanity's new power back to the Federation. Sir, his tactical officer called out, we're detecting quantum communication bursts from the nearest Federation outposts. They're mobilizing their fleets. Good, James smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Send word to Earth. It's time to wake the other ships. The Nemesis was just the beginning. Let's show them what humanity can really do. Across the solar system, in hidden shipyards around Jupiter and Saturn, 3 more vessels like the Nemesis stirred to life. Each represented a different aspect of human warfare, one built for stealth and reconnaissance, another for electronic warfare and system control, and the third a pure engine of destruction. Send this message to all Federation frequencies, James ordered, standing at the center of his bridge. To the Astral Federation, you judged humanity unworthy of the stars. You thought us primitive, weak, and easily controlled. Today, that changes. We are not the prey you thought we were. We are humanity. We adapt, we overcome, and we never forget those who wronged us. As the message transmitted, the Nemesis's engines powered up. They had a galaxy to reclaim, and a Federation to teach about the true meaning of evolution. Humanity hadn't just survived their trial by fire. They had emerged from it transformed. The hunt had begun, and the hunters were about to become the hunted. The Federation's High Council chamber erupted in chaos as the latest battle footage played on the massive holographic display. Another fleet group, completely destroyed. Another sector, fallen to the humans. The crystalline architecture of the chamber, usually serene and elegant, seemed to tremble with the council members' fear. Impossible. High Chancellor Vexthorian slammed his appendage against the council table. These are the same primitives we subdued a mere 2 cycles ago. How are they defeating our most advanced ships? The answer came in the form of another transmission cutting through their secure channels. The dark shape of the HMS Nemesis appeared on their screens, flanked by 3 equally imposing vessels, the Spectre, the Wraith, and the Judgment. Allow me to introduce ourselves properly. Admiral Chen's voice carried an edge of cold satisfaction. You thought you knew humanity's capabilities. You were wrong. The Spectre shimmered and vanished, its advanced stealth systems making it completely invisible even to Federation quantum sensors. The Wraith's electronic warfare suite reached out, seizing control of the Federation's communication networks with ease, and the Judgment's weapons erased charge, each gun precisely calibrated to exploit the weaknesses humanity had discovered in Federation technology. These are the children of your arrogance, James continued. Built from the wreckage of our colonies, powered by the technology you thought we couldn't understand, guided by the determination you created when you murdered our people. In the council chamber, tactical displays showed Federation fleets across 3 sectors going dark, as the Wraith's cyber warfare systems tore through their defenses. The Spectre appeared in the heart of their defense networks, striking critical installations before vanishing again like a ghost. Mobilize everything. Vexthorian ordered. Call in the Guardian Fleet. A quiet laugh came through the transmission. Your Guardian Fleet is already engaged. Elena's voice joined the channel. Would you like to see? The display shifted to show the Federation's most powerful ships trading fire with the Judgment. But where Federation beams splashed harmlessly against advanced human shields, the Judgment's responses were devastating. Each shot was perfectly timed, synchronized with shield fluctuations through neural interfaces that gave human gunners impossible reaction speeds. How? A council member whispered. How did they advance so quickly? You gave us motivation, James answered. You gave us technology to study. But most importantly, you gave us something every human civilization has needed to achieve greatness, a common enemy. The Nemesis moved forward, its massive form dwarfing even the Federation's largest vessels. Behind it, more ships were emerging from hyperspace, dozens, then hundreds. Not all were as advanced as the 4 flagships, but each carried humanity's determination to reclaim their place among the stars. We've spent our entire history fighting, James continued, his voice carrying the weight of centuries. Fighting nature, fighting each other, fighting for survival. You thought that made us primitive. Instead, it made us unstoppable. On worlds across Federation space, human colonies began to resurface. What the Federation had thought were abandoned ruins were revealed as elaborate camouflage, hiding vast underground cities and shipyards. Humanity hadn't retreated. They had been preparing, building, evolving. Their neural interface technology, a Federation scientist reported frantically to the Council, it's beyond anything we've seen. They've achieved perfect synthesis between human consciousness and machine precision. Our automated systems can't match their reaction times. And their ships, another added, they're not just copies of our technology. They've improved it, combined it with approaches we never considered. Their adaptive camouflage alone is generations ahead of our stealth systems. Vex Thorian watched as another defensive line crumbled before the human advance. The Federation had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years, guiding the development of younger species, determining who was worthy of joining their civilization. Now, in less than 2 years, humans had not only caught up to their technology, but surpassed it in many ways. You face a choice, James's transmission continued. Continue fighting, and watch as we dismantle everything you've built. Or acknowledge your mistake, end this conflict, and learn to coexist with a species you grossly underestimated. In the silence that followed, the Council members looked at each other. Their civilization had never faced a threat like this, a species that could take their most advanced technology and transform it into something even more powerful through sheer determination and creativity. The human ships are advancing on 6 more sectors, a tactical officer reported. The Spectre's raids have disabled our quantum communication networks. The Wraith has compromised our defense grids. The Judgment. He paused. The Judgment is targeting this facility. Vex Thorian stood, his proud posture finally breaking. Open a channel to their flagship. As the Federation's leadership prepared to negotiate with a species they had dismissed as primitive just 2 years ago, James Chen stood on the bridge of the Nemesis. Behind him, Elena monitored the quantum streams of data flowing through their neural networks. Humanity's ships moved with perfect coordination, their crews linked in ways the Federation had never imagined possible. They're surrendering, Elena reported, a hint of surprise in her voice. James nodded. They finally understand. Humanity isn't just another species to be judged worthy or unworthy of the stars. He turned to look at the massive fleet humanity had built, each ship a testament to human ingenuity and determination. We are the ones who judge ourselves, who push our own boundaries, who refuse to accept the limitations others place on us. The stars seem brighter somehow, as if acknowledging humanity's rise from perceived primitive to galactic power. The Federation had sought to cage a young species. Instead, they had unleashed humanity's true potential. And the galaxy would never be the same. 1 year after the Federation's surrender, The Great Hall of Earth's Unity Complex hosted a gathering unprecedented in galactic history. Representatives from over 300 species filled the chamber, their diverse forms illuminated by the soft glow of quantum crystals. Technology once hoarded by the Federation, now freely shared under humanity's new approach to galactic civilization. Admiral James Chen, now High Ambassador of the United Earth Alliance, stood at the podium. Behind him, through massive windows, the Nemesis and her sister ships hung in low orbit, their dark hulls a reminder of how humanity had earned its place among the stars. 2 years ago, James began, his voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. The Federation decided humanity was unworthy of the stars. Today, we proved them wrong not through force of arms, but through the very thing they thought us incapable of, unity. In the audience, former High Chancellor Vexthorian shifted uncomfortably. The Federation's leadership had been humbled, but not destroyed. Humanity had chosen a different path. Dr. Santos, James gestured to Elena, who stood from her seat. Share with our guests what we've discovered. Elena activated the holographic display, showing a complex network of quantum connections spanning the galaxy. The Federation's technology was built on isolation, she explained. Each species advancing alone, sharing only what the Federation deemed appropriate. But humanity saw a different possibility. The display shifted, showing the neural interface systems that had given humanity its edge in battle. But now, they served a different purpose, connecting minds across vast distances, sharing knowledge and experiences between species in ways the Federation had never imagined. We call it the Unity Network, Elena continued, a synthesis of Federation quantum technology and human neural interface systems. But unlike our combat applications, this network serves to connect rather than conquer. In the months since the war's end, humanity had transformed their military advantage into a technological revolution. The same systems that had allowed human crews to outfight Federation ships now enabled unprecedented cooperation between species. Already, James added, we've seen breakthroughs in medicine, science, and exploration that would have taken centuries under the old system. When species work together, share their unique perspectives and abilities, we all advance. A murmur of agreement rippled through the audience. Many of them had been considered primitive by Federation standards, held back from advancing too quickly. Now they were equal partners in a new galactic community. But let us not forget the lesson that brought us here, James continued, his tone growing serious. Humanity did not win our freedom through technology alone. We won because we refused to accept artificial limitations, because we turned adversity into advantage, because we met arrogance with innovation. The holographic display showed images from the war, not of destruction, but of human ingenuity. The underground cities that had hidden their preparation, the hybrid technologies that had surpassed their origins, the unity of purpose that had driven humanity to evolve beyond anyone's expectations. The Federation's greatest mistake, Elena spoke again, wasn't underestimating our technology. It was underestimating our spirit. Every human achievement, from our first steps out of Africa to our first steps among the stars, came from our refusal to accept impossible as an answer. In orbit, the Nemesis quantum core pulsed with energy, but now it powered the Unity network rather than weapon systems. The ship that had been built for war had become a symbol of peace, albeit peace backed by the understanding that humanity would never again be underestimated. To our new allies, James raised a glass, the gesture mirrored by hundreds of alien appendages. We offer not dominion, but partnership, not judgment, but opportunity. We have seen what fear and arrogance bring. Let us now see what unity can achieve. Vexthorian stood slowly, his crystalline form catching the light. When we first encountered humans, he admitted, his translator conveying genuine emotion, we saw them as primitive because they were different. We never considered that different could mean better. The gathering erupted in agreement. Around the room, species that had once been kept apart by Federation doctrine were sharing ideas, forming connections. building relationships that would reshape galactic civilization. The stars are not a birthright, James concluded, looking out at the assembled representatives. They are a challenge, an opportunity, a test of what each species can become. Humanity passed our test, not by meeting the Federation's standards, but by setting our own. As the ceremony concluded, Alina joined James at the window. Below them, Earth shone like a jewel, while above, the stars beckoned with endless possibilities. "They're calling it the human revolution," Alina said softly. "Not because we conquered them, but because we showed them a better way." James nodded, watching as ships from 100 worlds moved through Earth's orbit, their crews connected through the Unity network, sharing knowledge and culture across the vast distances of space. "We showed them what humanity truly is," he replied. "Not primitive, not advanced, but something unique. A species that never stops growing, never stops questioning, never stops reaching for the stars." The Federation had sought to judge humanity's worth by their standards. Instead, humanity had proven that worth could not be measured by technology alone, but by the spirit that drove its advancement. And in the depths of space, where the future of 1,000 species now hung in the balance, that spirit burned brighter than ever. A legacy not of steel and fire, but of unity and endless possibility. The end was just the beginning.